Okay, good afternoon everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Microsoft Certified Educator session this afternoon. My name's Jenny Mackay. I'm one of the Digital Skills Officers with Education Scotland, and I'm joined by Sarah Snowden, who's here from Prodigy Learning, who are Microsoft global training partners. This afternoon we're going to be looking at the Microsoft Certified Educator course, all that it entails. Sarah is going to lead this afternoon's session. She's going to give you an overview of the course, what the practice process looks like, training and support that's available, as well as the end exam. We'll also look at next steps, some help and support. For the session, all of the tools that you need will be available in Glow. Some of them though may work better if you're able to download them to a device. In schools, these are likely already on your devices in your settings. However, any staff member or learner with access to Glow can use the Download Office 365 Glow tile, which looks like that. If you've not seen it, I'm sure that all of you already have, but please do share that with colleagues. And also beyond this session, we have some CLP sessions to support the material that might be covered in the exam, as well as some online materials that might be of interest, and we'll look at them towards the end. I realise that's a lot of information that I've just thrown at you very quickly. And so this afternoon we are in fact recording our session, and it will be shared on the DigiLearnScot YouTube channel. Okay, with that, I'm going to hand over to Sarah and she's going to lead you through the session. If you have any questions, please do use the chat. I'll do my best to answer them, and we've got time at the end where we'll also cover additional questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, as Jenny's mentioned, I'm from an organisation called Prodigy Learning, and yes, we are a Microsoft Global Training Partner. These are the kind of things that Prodigy Learning do. We look after certifications for Microsoft, for Adobe and Autodesk as well. So we're kind of like an awarding body for those different organisations. We also have credentials like coding in Minecraft and digital literacy, and we've got lots of different solutions and different platforms. So we're based in the education field, and we're also cover quite a bit of the world now. We started off in Dublin, and we now look after all these things in the whole of the UK and in Australia, and also in different parts of America. So we've got offices in Dublin, London, Sydney and New York as well. So we're kind of spreading our wings a little bit. But all of that is that we are definitely a Microsoft Education Global Training Partner. And as part of Prodigy, so my name is Sarah Snowden and I'm the Digital Skills Specialist at Prodigy Learning. I am an MIE expert. I'm also an MIE Master Trainer as well. And I've also got other various kind of badges like for Minecraft, etc. But what we're here to talk about today is actually the Certified Educator, the Microsoft Certified Educator, or MCE, and this is the kind of final badge. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of this first of all, and then I'm going to take you into the team that supports this particular offer that we're making to you and explain how to use the resources within there. Okay, so the MCE is a professional development program that bridges that gap between technology skills and innovative teaching practice. And educators who actually hold the MCE certification can prove they have the skills needed to provide a rich, customised learning experience for their students that incorporates those critical 21st century skills using different Microsoft tools. The benefits of implementing an MCE professional development program, whether that's within a school or across an authority, is many different things. So the certification program for you and your institution can do things like it ensures that the staff have basic understanding of Microsoft education tools. It ensures that staff can demonstrate how to successfully use those tools, but actually to enhance those 21st century skills that we want in our lessons for learners to get to grips with as well. Ensures that staff also know which Microsoft tools can support which specific 21st century skills. So it's using the tools in the right way to actually support the specific skills. It provides access to effective professional development, and it also provides validation for the investment that's being made in ICT as well. Okay, so we're going to look at this pathway. It's a pathway of solutions to become a Microsoft certified educator. It's a full pathway solution where educators can prepare themselves to become an MCE or Microsoft certified educator. The 21st Century Learning Design Programme provides educators with clear, practical ways to develop those 21st century skills using digital technologies. And it's done through a kind of a blended approach that this approach has been built on research methodology, and it provides a really collaborative way. It's based on practice-based process as well, and it helps you as educators to transform how you're designing and enriching the learning activities that you're already delivering in your classroom. So it's not about reinventing the wheel, it's taking what you're doing and looking how you can kind of tweak these to make sure that you are developing those all-important 21st century skills. So the first thing we need to look at is the learning aspect. Okay, so we will be providing you with the tools to actually look at these two areas. So in essence, there's two streams. Okay, there is the pedagogy stream and there's the skills stream. The pedagogy is the main thing that's covered, and I would say you're looking at a good 80 to 90% of this course is pedagogy based. The skills are covered separately, and they're going to be covered through different sessions, and we'll provide in some more detail this afternoon. I'll walk you through the pedagogy side of things, and we'll also let you know about the different sessions for the skills. So in the skills, a blended learning approach, educators are going to learn how to become more innovative with these cloud-based technologies, regardless of what device you actually use. You will learn how to use the basic features of Office 365, including like Teams, OneNote, Sway, Forms, a whole array of different things there that you'll be getting into grips, and it's knowing a basic understanding of those. We've got the practice. Now, what we would say is we would very, very strongly encourage you that after you've gone through a section in the pedagogy learning, you'll see that it's going to be divided up in sections. You start to apply that in your learning activities, things that you're actually already planning on doing. Think about how you can incorporate that learning there. Deliver this to your students and then reflect as well on the outcomes yourself. This is the way to really make a difference in your classroom. It's not about just, getting some learnings, getting a badge or a certificate. It's really making an impact on what's happening in your classroom. And that's what's really at the heart of all this, and what I'm quite passionate about as well. And then obviously you want to certify. We are giving you access to an online exam to actually take the certification so you can get your MCE. But to help you get there as well, we're giving you access to a platform where you can take some practice exams to see if you're ready to actually sit that final exam as well in that live test environment. So these are the aspects of it. We're looking at learning, encouraging you to practice it in your classroom, and then looking at certifying. Now, as I've already said, all of this is actually supported through a team. So I'm going to go into the team now to show you what this kind of looks like. I'm just going to bring that over into this window. Okay. So in the team, you'll notice there's a number of different channels, and the first general channel which we're having this meeting in now has got a welcome. Again, explains a little bit about the MCE, what I've been talking about already, that it's based on research, etc., and explains what the other channels are for. So we have got the channels for, which is an introduction and access to the course materials. We've got the skills channel, that kind of 15-20% of the material you need to cover. We've got information about practice exams, booking your exams, so I'm going to go through these step by step. So if we look first of all at the actual first channel, which is the course. So the top one here explains that to prepare for this, you need to look at the 21st century skills, and the learning objectives is to consider, what is innovative teaching practice? What are the characteristics of 21st century educators? What's the characteristics of a 21st century learner? What's the pedagogical principles behind, being an innovative teacher as well? And thinking also about the research that underpins all of this. So those are the objectives. The actual course, you will find that we have linked, you can just about see it there. There is a OneNote at the top there. Okay. So all of the resources for the pedagogy side of things are in here, and you'll see that it's split down if you open that up. We have got this first section, which is the introduction. Each section, and there's 9 sections in total. Each section's got a different number of pages, and we'll look at these sections in turn. So the first one is the introduction section, and in there that has got 2 pages. It gives the details of the learning path outline as well, and the second page actually introduces you to the 21CLD, the research behind it, its development, the 6 areas or rubrics as they're called of the 21CLD, how they're structured, this text in there, and it's got videos embedded in there as well. The next tab along, you'll see, is called Anchor Lessons. So in there are a number of lessons to demonstrate to you, show you how different rubrics have been applied to those lessons. You can see where they kind of lie on those rubrics as well, and look at the skills that have been developed. Then each of the rubrics, the 6 areas of the 21CLD, so there's knowledge construction, collaboration, real world problem solving and innovation, skill communication, self-regulation and use of ICT for learning. Each of those have got their own section in the OneNote, and again that OneNote section is broken down into pages as well, and we'll have a look at what they actually look like. And the last one is embedding the 21CLD. So this really recaps on everything that we've kind of covered. It's encouraging you again to really embed it in your classroom practice as well. I've put an announcement in for each one of the rubrics just to give you kind of that overview. So like for knowledge construction, okay, what actually is knowledge construction? It's kind of giving the rationale as well, giving of what's this is based on. You've got your objectives in there as well. If I actually open up the OneNote for you here. Now, obviously, I would suggest you actually look at this in full view so you can actually see that, but I will just take you to the knowledge construction. I'm going to be killing the internet a little bit here as well. Okay. All right, so we've got our first page. It explains a little bit about this, what it actually is, so that kind of gives you the overview. You have then got the big ideas, and you can see this is where the videos start being embedded in, giving you that much more background to this, understanding what it actually means. You've got the rubric broken down into the different levels. You can see that as a rubric, or you can actually see it as a decision tree. You can work with either one, and then you've got a lesson example as well of how that is. So lots of information in there showing you how to access those rubrics, look at the rubrics, look at example lessons, and then reflect on doing this yourselves once you've put it into practice. That is the bulk of what the exam is based on. As I say, it's kind of around about that 85% is based on that. The other is built on the skills side of it, and there's a number of different tools. So let's go to the top of this again. Explains what the tools are, and it's about having a kind of a working knowledge. You don't need an in-depth knowledge of those tools for the exam, but you kind of need to know, which would be the right tool to use in a particular scenario. And to help you with that as well, what we've done is throughout May, we've put a number of different sessions on to cover different tools and to show you which rubrics they actually meet. So it's always going to be on a Monday, um, 4 o'clock to 5:30. So you can see the first one there is looking at the rubrics of knowledge construction, collaboration, self-regulation, skill communication. So quite a few of the rubrics. And the tools that we're looking at is Teams, Word, PowerPoint, Edge and Bing. You can book there as well. And you see each one, it'll tell you which rubric you're looking at and which particular tools that we're looking at. So that's every Monday throughout May. Once you've been going through that, you then would probably want to have a go at having, well, what does this exam actually look like? So the practice exam, you're going to, this is on a platform called Gmetrics. So you need to actually create yourself an account. And again, use your account, your email as your Glow email. And the link is in here to actually create this account. Make sure you only click on the sign up here rather than clicking on one of the boxes underneath, because the way your Glow account is set up, these wouldn't work properly. You need to use the sign up here. Use the registration form. Ideally, you need to actually download the software onto your desktop. There is an online version. It's not as comprehensive as the desktop version. So if you can download it, you then would be able to get the icon on your desktop. And I'm just going to go back to my PowerPoint. And you get the icon on the desktop like that. You will open it up. You'll see a fairly blank screen. You need to go down to the redeem section, which is got a little key. You click on there and then you need to put the access code in. The access code that you want to put in is actually on this next announcement here. So that's the access code. Please don't share the access code outside of this team at all. It's got to remain in here. That is the access code that you actually put in. Once you've got your access code in, you can obviously start to take a practice exam. So I'm going to just quickly bring this across. So this is Gmetrics. This is what it looks like. Once you've put your code in, you can go onto the test tab, and obviously you would choose the Microsoft Certified Educator. You click onto there. You've got 2 exam banks to actually choose from. And you'll see that there's a training mode and a testing mode. Training mode means it's not timed, so you can actually just kind of get an idea and a feel of what it's like. The testing mode is timed because obviously the live exam is timed, so that's when you're comfortable in kind of the environment, go on to testing it with the time on, because you need to be able to do it within that hour. It's not just a multiple guess or anything like that. There's quite a lot of thought you need to go through. You're given scenarios. You need to think about what that scenario is. You can access the rubrics within the exam as well, so you don't need to memorize all the rubrics in there as well. But it's quite a tough exam, but it's very, very satisfying when you pass it out. Believe me, it really is. What you've also got in your team is a dedicated question and answer channel. So any questions you've got, we can ask them to, in a minute, but anything as you go through it, pop them in there. And to book your exam, you need to go onto this area. These are the dates that we're offering the exams, 2 weeks in June. We've got different time slots. So they're on the hour, the time slots after school, and what's been on the Friday as well. You need to make sure that you set yourselves up a Certiport ID to be able to access those exams. The information is in there. It takes you through it step by step. And it tells you exactly what's going to happen on the day of your exam. And when you've taken your exam and you've passed it, shout about it, celebrate, put it out on social media, tag in, and we can retweet, etc., and enjoy, bask in your achievements, I would say. So any questions come up?
you do have questions beyond this, as we've said, please do let us know in the team. Sarah is a font of knowledge on all of this. I will do my best to keep up, but probably ask her if I don't know. So please tag in either of us in Glow or just get in touch directly. I mentioned DigiLearnScot. We're recording this call. We've recorded the Microsoft Office Specialist course session that we just did as well. Both of those will be available on DigiLearnScot, and as well as the wealth of information that Sarah's shown you in this team, DigiLearnScot has a whole range of resources that may support you. So this QR code, and again this is in the general channel file space, this will take you to our website, and this is all of our pathways. We also have something linked, so if you are a lot less confident perhaps using some of these, if we have something linked with bite-sized videos, and those videos are all held on the DigiLearnScot YouTube channel, which can be accessed as part of Education Scotland DigiLearnScot's offer. The tabs are at the top of the website. And then we also have Glow Connect. So Glow Connect is from our Glow team. It's a valuable place to go and get lots of information and lots of resources. There's a huge amount of information between DigiLearnScot and Glow Connect. It's got a ton of stuff that you could, if you add then into all of the things that we've shown you today, you know, there's really an abundance of information available. So please do check that out, and that can be accessed through this by Googling Glow Connect, or alternatively there's a tile on your Scottish National Launchpad in Glow. That also then takes us, if you think I would love to do this with my colleague, this seems like a really good undertaking, but I want to do this alongside maybe a friend. If you're undertaking that and you want maybe your staff to take part, these two codes allow you access to request into the teams that we're doing. So obviously you have access, but your colleagues don't, so that we have a record of who's applying so they can get the access codes, etc. that we spoke about. Please share these. They'll come out in an email via the Eventbrite links, and we'll also put it in the channels. But these QR codes take you to a form to register. So if you think, okay, I want my colleagues or my staff to do this, that would be a great way. Please do share that out, and we hope to have as many people in Scotland taking part in this. And that just leaves us to say a huge thank you to you all for giving up your time this evening.